All right, guys. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna just utilize all our knowledge so far in topic 1 to 5 and then solve some problems. All right, let's do this. If negative 3 plus I is a 0 of px is a given, where a is real, its coefficient, leading coefficient, find a, and hence find all zeros of the cubic. So what should be my first step? My first step would be finding a. Well, what you're going to use is this theorem, complex conjugate root theorem. P plus qi is 0, 0, p minus qi is 0. So according to the theorem, what will be my second zero? Okay, if negative 3 plus I is 0, what is my second zero? Any, what do you... Vicky, go ahead. Anybody?
Minus 3 minus I.
Very good. So you just use the conjugate root theorem, right? Okay, now it's easy. What we're going to do is we're going to use the sum and product of theorems. So sum of two roots and then product of two roots will be used to construct a quadratic. Okay, I'm not sure if you remember this. This is what we had. Oops. In the parenthesis, you have the sum of two roots. In the second parenthesis is a product. So you have to find the sum and product. So what is a sum? Negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. What is a product? Negative 3 squared gives you 9. Minus I squared gives you 10. So what you have here in the parenthesis is negative 6 and 10. Okay? And then what happens? What you can say is that restating the fact that px, which is a x cubed plus 9x squared plus ax minus 3, is the product of two factors. First factor we found in quadratic form, x squared plus a 6x plus 10. Second one, I don't know, but I know that it has to be multiplied together to have a. So I'm going to write down ax here. The last constant term should be negative 30. So these two things has to be multiplied to become negative 30. So I'm going to write down negative 3. Okay? Well, now what you're going to use is equality of polynomial. Okay? I just emphasized before in summary that you are going to have to compare left-hand side to the right-hand side to solve problems. What I am going to do is I am going to expand this to compare to the left-hand side. So ax cubed minus 3x squared plus a 6ax squared minus 18x plus 10ax minus 30. I just expanded. And then I'm going to combine the like terms, x terms and x squared terms, which gives you ax cubed plus a 6a minus 3 x squared plus 10a minus 8, 18, x minus 30. Conclusion, 6a minus 3 has to be 9. So I have a is 2. I just figured out what a is. So my conclusion is, okay, I now can factor px is going to be the multiple of quadratic equation of x squared plus a 6x plus 10 multiplied by a linear factor of 2x minus 3. Okay, can we find all the zeros now? X is going to be either 2 over 3 or negative 3 plus minus I. Okay, so you just found an answer. All the factors. These are going to be your answers. Can I move on? Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. So number 2, example number 2 is also very similar. You have to utilize everything you have learned, but very similar concept. So 1, 0 of ax cubed plus a plus 1x squared plus 10x plus 15 is 0. Okay. This is the equation. This is, let's call it px. Okay. This is a polynomial equation. And then one of the 0 is purely imaginary. Okay. Purely imaginary means it's some kind of like I or 2i minus 3i. Basically, it's not complex numbers. This is imaginary, purely imaginary. Then what is not purely imaginary is something like a plus bi form, complex numbers, not purely imaginary, okay? This is what they're asking. Where a is a real number, find a and the 0. Okay, similar to the example 1. What you have to put is that 1 0, if 1 0 is bi, let's just call it bi because I don't know, then minus bi is also 0. We defined these conjugate roots in quadratic. So you are going to have conjugate roots always come in pairs. Okay. So if you establish that, what you have here is px is going to be something with a product of two linear factors looking like that, okay, and some kind of qx, some kind of another linear factor. I don't know what it is, but let's see. When you combine these two terms right here, I mean multiply together, you have x squared minus b squared I squared, which gives you b squared. And then qx has to be some kind of ax plus b, some kind of number here. But as you can see, b squared and then this number should be multiplied together, okay? B squared times some kind of number has to be 15. So you can immediately think in your head is that that number has to be 15 over b squared. Okay? So now I figured out it will be in a form of ax plus a 15 over b squared. What we have to do now is we have to figure out what a is. So I'm going to expand on the right hand side and then compare it to the left hand side. When I expand it, what I have here, ax squared cube plus 15x squared over b squared plus b squared times ax plus 15. Okay? And then I know that this part and this part right here, this is a plus 1. This has to be 10. Okay, so b squared times a is 10, which gives you b squared is 10 over a. Okay, this is first clue. Second one is going to be a plus 1 is 15 over b squared. I am going to substitute 10 over a right here. So a plus 1 is 15 over 10 over a, which is simplified as a over 2. Okay, and then when you solve the problem, then you have 2a plus 2 is a, and then eventually what you have, wait a second, what did I do wrong? Right, so a is negative 2. Is it okay so far? Is there any mistake I made, guys?
No.
No? Okay. Just checking again. I think it's a 3 right here. Sorry. 3. Because bottom is 10 and then 15a. So it's a 3 over 2. Okay, now I see where the mistake is coming from. So 3a right there. So I have negative a is negative 2. So a is 2. All right. So you found out what a is, but I am not done. You have to find all the zeros. So what's going on here is that, let me summarize. Px is coming from x squared. Oh, you have to find b. You just plug in here. So b squared is 5. So b squared is 5. So what you're gonna do, write down your x plus 5, x squared plus 5 because b squared is 5 right here, and then a is 2. So 2x plus 15 over b squared is 25. So it's going to be so it looks like 15 over 5 is 3 right here, right? So because 15 over b squared is 15 over 5, so you have 3. So 3 is your answer right there. Okay, so your answers, x is going to be either plus or minus square root of 5i or minus 3 over 2. Okay, so you also found all the zeros. Okay.